Pulled the car into the cracked parking lot like I was rolling up to my own execution. Engine ticking. Breath fogging the glass. Hands shaking just enough to piss me off. I sat there for a minute too long, drowning in the stale scent of desperation mixed with department store cologne. Move, you coward! Kicked the door open. Stepped into the afternoon sun like it was gonna peel the skin off my bones. Every nerve lit up, screaming, clawing, begging me to turn around. Instead, I walked. Pavement, under worn sneakers. Backpack slung over one shoulder to fake some kind of purpose. Campus buzzed with life. Laughter, sneakers scraping concrete, cliques forming natural barriers I had no paths to cross. Every girl I passed was a potential disaster. Eyes darted up, down, away. Some smiled at their phones. Some laughed with friends. Some just existed oblivious. Target acquired. Blonde ponytail, denim jacket, earbuds. Sitting cross-legged under a tree like a Pinterest board had barfed up a perfect study aesthetic. My chest tightened. Panic buzzed in my ears. Go. Feet dragged like I was pulling a sled through wet cement. I got close enough to smell her shampoo, then bailed hard left like a drunk shopping cart. Pathetic. Walked aimlessly. Loitered near the quad. Pretended to check my phone. Pacing like a lion too broken to hunt. Time blurred. Anxiety carving tracks through my brain. I couldn't even make eye contact without feeling like I'd been flashbanged. Another chance. Brunette, simple hoodie, flip-flops. Sitting alone, tapping on her laptop. Looked less intimidating. Maybe she'd be nice. Made myself approach. Hey, I croaked. She flinched. Pulled one earbud out. Eyes squinting up at me against the sun. I thought you were cute. Can I maybe have your number? She blinked. Beat of silence stretching until my organs wanted to crawl out through my pores. I have a boyfriend, she said. Polite, firm, final. Okay. Cool. Sorry. Nuclear shame detonation. I stumbled away, heat flooding my face. Couldn't breathe right. Every footstep thudded in my ears like a war drum. Made it to the parking lot. Almost home free. Another girl. This one unlocking a beat-up bike. Blonde curls, oversized sweatshirt, no makeup. She looked up, caught me mid-stare. Screw it, brain said. Marionette movements. Words sticking to my tongue. Hey, I thought you were cute, can I? No, sorry, she said before I even finished. Didn't hurt as much? Weird. Something cracked open. Not a scream, a whisper. Something whispering, you're still standing. Got back in the fight. Hour and a half. 20 girls? 0 yes. A blur of polite refusals, confused looks, one eye roll, 2 girls snickering behind hands. Still weirdly proud. Went home. Replayed every failure in lurid 4K. Wondered if I was too ugly, too awkward, too something. Watched more videos. Took notes like it was finals week. Learned I was missing small talk. Apparently you had to lubricate the interaction, not just ram your request down someone's throat like a robot with a broken flirt function. Made a script. Hey, I like your jacket. What class are you in? Do you enjoy it? Over and over. In the mirror. In the car. Whispered under my breath, walking down grocery aisles like a maniac. Next day. Campus again. PTSD shivering under my skin. First girl. Complimented her earrings. Asked what she was studying. Psychology, she said, suspicious. Cool. Is it what you want to do after college? I guess? Conversation fumbled, flopped, died gasping. Well, nice talking to you, I said, retreating before she could visibly wince. Kept going. Second girl. Third girl. Fourth. Started stringing a few sentences together before crashing and burning. Finally, a shy nerdy girl in thick glasses, clutching a Dungeons and Dragons rulebook. We talked for 2 whole minutes. She smiled. I asked for her Insta. She gave it. Heart pounding so hard it felt like it would crack my ribs. Message that night. Music, books, dumb jokes. Asked her to meet for coffee. She said yes. Date was awkward. Words stuck, laughter strained. Like two scared animals thrown into a cage together. Still asked for a second date. You're sweet, but I don't think we're a match, she said, with a sad little smile. Dead silence in my head. Then a whisper. Okay. 3 months of radio silence after that. Too humiliated to try again. Felt like a kid who pissed himself in front of the whole class. But eventually the need clawed back. The stubborn hunger to be more than a ghost. Coffee shops. Bookstores. Libraries. Anywhere people lingered. Still awkward. Still scared. 5% success rate, if you could call a couple of instas and some stilted conversations. Success. But I was alive. One day at a tiny bookstore downtown, I saw her. Dark hair. Long coat. Tattered Chuck Taylors. Reading some obscure fantasy novel like the world outside didn't exist. Walked past once. Twice. Move. Third pass I spoke. Hey, I really like your shoes. Classic. She looked up. Soft brown eyes. Laughed lightly. Thanks. They're ancient. Vintage, I said, smiling. Small talk. Book titles. Favorite authors. She was easy to talk to, like stepping into a warm room after freezing outside. Name was Mara. Got her number. Texted that night. Mara was different. Funny without trying. Sarcastic but not cruel. Fast fingers firing off texts that made me grin like an idiot. But something prickled at the edges, a faint unease. First date, she picked the spot. Some artsy cafe with chairs that looked painful to sit on. She ordered the most expensive drink on the menu without glancing at the prices. Resource asymmetry. Conversation bounced. She teased easily, like we were old friends. Then she'd go cold, distracted, eyes flitting around the room, scanning for someone better. Public/private dissonance. When I mentioned I was trying to get better at social stuff, she smiled, not warmly. Oh, you're one of those guys who watches pickup videos? Stung worse than it should have. Not like that, I mumbled. Sure, she said, ruffling my hair like I was her little brother. Validation/invalidation. But I laughed it off. Took it. Because that's what you did when you were starving for connection. Second date, she brought a friend halfway through. Some tatted up dude who clearly had history with her. Hope you don't mind, she chirped. Gut twisted into knots. Jealous concern rap. Third date, she showed up late. Reeking of some guy's cologne that wasn't mine. Forgot our inside jokes. Remembered every flaw I'd let slip. Memory selectivity. Still, I hung in. Until one night, after a week of dead texts and cold shoulders, she sent a message. You're really sweet. But I don't think this is what I'm looking for. Typed back. Thanks for being honest. Wish you the best. Put the phone down. Sat there. Silent. Breathing. Didn't punch a wall. Didn't spiral. Didn't tell myself I was worthless. Just sat with it. Maybe that's what progress looked like. Not fireworks. Not victories. Just sitting with the sting without letting it own you. Next morning, woke up. No crushing dread. No panic. Just a quiet, raw kind of peace. Wasn't invisible anymore. Wasn't perfect either. Just present. In the arena. Still showing up. Still swinging. And somewhere deep inside, a stubborn ember refused to go out. A whisper growing louder. You're not done yet. But I wasn't going to make the same mistakes. The Mara chapter closed. And somewhere deep in my guts, I knew it was time to stop chasing anything that didn't look me back in the eyes. So I set a new rule. No begging. No groveling. No forcing. If the energy wasn't returned, I was gone. Simple. First girl I met under the new rule was Emma. Saw her sketching at a coffee shop. Huge messy hair, wire-rimmed glasses, a leather jacket worn down at the elbows. Looked like she stepped out of an indie movie about art kids falling in love and making bad decisions. Cool sketches, I said. She smiled. Tight, cautious. Thanks. Didn't force it. Made one more comment about the coffee shop playlist being awful, then walked away. 5 minutes later, she came over. Hey, you're right. This song is terrible. It clicked. We talked. Joked. Laughed about bad tattoos and conspiracy theories and the tragedy of dead houseplants. No number asked? She offered it. New rule. New results. Texted sparingly. No begging for attention. We agreed to meet again. Second time, she was late. 10 minutes. Then 15. Old me would have waited in sweaty silence, inventing excuses for her. New me left after 20. She texted an hour later, apologizing. Something about losing track of time. I didn't even respond. Not to be cold. But because I wasn't a consolation prize anymore. Small things. Tiny wins. But stacked up, they built something stronger than pride. They built self-respect. Weeks blurred into months. Different faces, different smiles. Some flirtations died on the vine. Some conversations led nowhere. And once, just once, something almost real. Her name was Nina. Met her at an open mic night. I wasn't performing. Barely had the guts to clap too loud. But she was there. Curled up in a booth, sipping something neon green, tapping her boot on the floor in rhythm to someone else's dreams. I noticed her because she noticed me first. Noticed the way I kept adjusting my jacket. Wiping my palms against my jeans. Laughing too hard at the bad poems. She laughed too, but at me. And when the awkward kid on stage butchered a love poem and the whole crowd shifted uncomfortably, she leaned over and whispered, "At least he's trying. Most people never even get that far." It hit me harder than any rejection ever had. I smiled. Crooked. Nervous. She smiled back. Talked after the show? About books. Music. Family shit. She was quick-witted, sharp-eyed, and rough around the edges in a way that felt honest. Real. Exchanged numbers. First date wasn't fireworks. Wasn't a train wreck either. We talked about fears instead of dreams. About stupid mistakes instead of fake accomplishments. Second date, we stayed out too late. Sitting on the hood of her beat-up Civic, passing a flask back and forth, staring at the stars like kids who didn't realize they were growing old. Third date, we kissed. It wasn't magic. No fireworks. No choir of angels. Just two broken people trying to find a little warmth. I thought maybe this was it. Not perfect. But real. Fourth date, she pulled away. Told me she wasn't ready. Told me I was too good, and she didn't want to mess me up. Old script. One I'd heard before. Part of me wanted to argue. To beg. To convince her I could be what she needed. But I didn't. New rule. I just smiled. Quietly. Said, "I get it. Thanks for being honest." Walked away. It hurt. Of course it did. But it didn't destroy me. And that difference, that tiny fracture between devastation and resilience, felt like a lifetime of progress. Started noticing things other people didn't. Like the girl at the sandwich shop who flirted with every guy until they bought an extra drink. Or the girl at the library who giggled at compliments, but never once asked a single question back. Like a sixth sense for wasted time. Sharpened by scars. Built by thousands of tiny failures no one else ever saw. There were relapses. Of course. Moments I caught myself crafting fantasy futures with a stranger because she smiled at me twice. Moments I slipped into old habits, old desperation, old illusions. But each time, I caught it faster. Corrected course. Found my footing again. Winter came. Not the movie kind of winter with snowball fights and hot cocoa and Instagram smiles. Real winter. Gray skies. Dead trees. Breathless cold that made your bones ache. Most people paired off. Holidays do that. Loneliness sharpens when you can see it reflected in Christmas lights on every goddamn storefront. I stayed moving. Not chasing anymore. Just moving. Books. Gym. Work. Talking to strangers sometimes. Practicing being human when everything inside still felt like static half the time. Met a few more girls. None stuck. Some too pretty to see me. Some too broken to meet me halfway. It was fine. I wasn't angry anymore. Just tired. Tired and patient at the same time. Like a man sharpening a sword he wasn't sure he'd ever have to swing. One night downtown. Cold wind slicing through my jacket. I ducked into a bar I normally avoided. Too loud. Too crowded. Too much noise for a brain that liked to pick at every sound like a scab. But tonight I didn't care. Pushed through the crush of bodies. Ordered something cheap. Leaned against the wall and watched the chaos. That's when I saw her. Not some movie star girl. No slow-motion hair flip. Just a woman. Tall. Short brown hair. Hoodie and ripped jeans. Sharp jawline. Glasses slipping down her nose. Sitting at the bar, staring into a whiskey like it had insulted her family. Looked tired. Like me. Looked real. I moved before I could think myself out of it. Walked up. Sat a stool away. She glanced over. Eyebrow raised. That a good whiskey, or are you plotting its death? I asked. She laughed. Sharp. Real. Little of both, she said. Talked. About everything and nothing. Her name was Kayla. Worked in tech. Hated it. Stayed because it paid. Wanted to quit. Wanted to leave. Wanted to find something that didn't feel like slow suicide by spreadsheet. I got it. God, I got it. We didn't exchange numbers that night. We just talked. For hours. Until the bar closed and the bouncers started stacking chairs. She stood. Pulled her hoodie tighter. Paused. Same time next week? She asked. My throat closed up. I nodded. Next week came. And we met again. And again after that. No grand romance. No Disney soundtrack swelling behind us. Just two tired souls swapping pieces of themselves like kids trading baseball cards. Some nights she ranted about her boss. Her ex. Her own fear of being too much, or not enough. Some nights I talked about the cold emptiness that used to sit on my chest like a tombstone. We didn't fix each other. We didn't save each other. We just saw each other. And sometimes that was enough. First time we kissed, it was stupid. We were arguing about whether Die Hard was a Christmas movie. She leaned in. Fast. Sudden. Kissed me like she was daring me to flinch. I didn't. Maybe for the first time in my life, I didn't. We weren't perfect. We fought. Misunderstood each other. Triggered old scars. Sometimes she pulled away. Sometimes I shut down. But we stayed. Not because it was easy. Because it mattered. Because being seen, truly seen, was rarer than any fairy tale ending. One night, months later, lying in bed next to her, I stared at the cracked ceiling and realized I wasn't the same. I wasn't the kid sweating bullets just trying to make eye contact. I wasn't the boy begging for scraps of affection. I wasn't a ghost anymore. I was flesh. Bone. Heart. Voice. Alive. Present. Fighting. Still awkward sometimes. Still scared sometimes. But standing. Always standing. And somewhere, far in the back of my mind, that stubborn ember still whispered, "You're not done yet. You're not done yet. You're not done yet." But now, for the first time, I smiled when I heard it. Because I knew I never would be. And that was the point.